We are late.
Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Good morning to you. We are back. Praise God. He woke us up this morning. And we get to have coffee and conversations with you guys yet once again. It is a privilege and an honor to share our thoughts as you share yours, as we converse and decide to wake up and make today count, right? It's a decision, right?
Make the decision to make it count today.
And so every so often when God hits my spirit, just say, you know, I don't care what side of the bed you woke up on today, make it right. I don't care how much traffic is outside, make it right. I don't care what job you're going to that you really don't want to be at, make it right. At the end of the day, you get to wake up and make today count. And how you show up, is how it adds up.
You sound like an argument. You just make it.
Just make it right.
I don't care what was that. You just make it right.
I don't care what you go through. Get it together. Good morning, Melissa. And welcome. We are here.
We are in the building.
In live, in color. Coffee's up. Yeah, I still haven't gotten any agave. The audacity of me.
We're gonna get some
because this honey is nice. Yo, we are going to Sam's Club. This ain't hitting.
I know it ain't the same as that agave because you need 1 or 2 squirts and you be
and it's done. That's why they said
has a different little taste.
Though. It definitely brings it together. Mm-hmm. And so we just arrived and we only been on for 1 minute. So of course we're gonna give time for you guys to
get into your
get into the mode, and you know that whether y'all come or not, we're gonna talk. And if you catch the replay, that'd be awesome. But we will start because, honey, it seems that when we take our time to start, we stuck past the hour because, honey, we just roll on. So at least if we get it all out, we be like, okay, we've done enough. But we wanted to dedicate today's show to Miss Queen Tina Turner.
Yes,
ma'am. Whom we lost on yesterday at the precious age of 83.
83.
What a gift it is for God to see fit for you to get.
Come on now.
8 decades and the magical number 3 with it, right? Yes. For the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So 83 is quite a life to live. Quite a life to live. You know what I mean? And she lived and she lived her story in front of everybody.
Yes.
Man, she fought.
Yeah, she
fought for who she was.
She was, going through some health issues.
God rest her soul. Yes, Melissa, that part.
Great legacy.
Good morning, Mama Faye. Good morning to you. We miss you in the studio audience.
Oh.
Get them Twitter fingers going.
You ain't there. Oh. See?
That's so dope.
That part.
That is so dope. But yeah. So it's like, so today's topic.
Like, wow.
What did we say today's topic is? Are you living? Is your life simply the best?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is your life simply the best?
Mine is probably got a dry nose. Mm-hmm.
Is your life simply the best?
Mine is, what you want, what you desire. Can you rest in being like, wow, my life is simply the best? Basically, when I think about simply, it's the simple things in life that we forget about, right? Keep it simple, shorty. I like that. So it's the simple things in life. And so when you think about, is your life simply the best? The essentials that life requires, right? Outside of the things you get, the things you need to survive. I'm just talking about the energy, right? And that is simple, right? Laughter is simple. Love is simple. Relationships is simple. I mean, when you realize that you have no stake in the game, that basically how you relate is how the ship moves. So it could be simple, yet we make life hard. We make life complicated. We hold on instead of let go. And so life then becomes not simple because we made it hard. But when you really think about it, it's like is your life simply the best because you can just have gratitude in the process. Have gratitude in the now, because we can always look at now and think, wow, yesterday is over, right? But now I got a new day. I got a new chance to simply just enjoy the simple things, right? Just having somebody to love and resting and being enough. Yeah.
What you have being enough. Like we was just talking about this morning, right? Come on.
Oh, I love that you said, good morning, Nancy. Good morning to you. The birds are jumping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mama Faye says,
what's love got to do with it? Love self is so important.
That part.
Come on.
And that's why we go back, and it just reaffirms the comment that I say, you go from like to love to like again, because her song clearly stated, what's love got to do with it?
Come
it's
on,
just a secondhand emotion. What's love got to do? Got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken?
Think about that, y'all, because it's an emotion, right?
Yeah. And
like is like so deep, like
it's so much deeper, right?
Because love is a secondhand emotion for in and out of love. Come on now.
And that's why I say that. That's why it's a secondhand emotion, because that is the greatest gift God gave us was love.
That's supposed to be regardless, right? But to like somebody, that takes some stuff.
Melissa talking about y'all got me singing over there, right?
That's
as soon as it hit, it's
with the legs going back. You gotta feel it. You feel it in your shanana.
Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? I mean,
and you
isn't that a story?
Close your eyes when you sing that song.
I think my eyes did close.
No, you all like, what's love? You
gotta feel it in your shanana. Right, like you said, in your shanana.
You feel that. That's why I always tell my mother, do you feel what he's saying? Like, do you feel the music? Do you feel the words? Like, you got to feel it. If you don't feel it, it ain't for you.
Yeah.
I got to feel the music. Come on now.
And I think that's so important. But yeah, it's like, man, what is simple? What are things that are simple?
Simply the best, better than all the rest.
The simple things is waking up this morning, right? Because you didn't have to make yourself do that. It happened, right? Those are so you see what I mean? Like the simple things in life are the gift, because then you get another opportunity to make today count, right? So it's a simplicity in the fact that your eyes just opened up when you was done. Right? You don't remember yourself tapping into yourself. You just awoke, right? And these are I'm breathing right now. I'm not concentrating on breathing. I just am breathing. These are the simple things. And come on, Ma. She just put breathe. Right. I didn't see that.
Breathe.
I don't know. Glance over breathing, right? Yes. And so just being, right? Being able to accept I am who I am. And I'm going to love me from right where I am, because that's simple. It's simple to love me. It's real simple. It's simple to love yourself.
It is. It is. It is.
When you really get the simplicity in it, right? Because if I get to be with me 24/7, and I get to dictate what goes in me 24/7, and that is simple. Now doing it may be hard, but knowing it is simple, right? That's why knowledge is power, and applied knowledge is transformation, because in the application does the work start, right? And so the thought is simple. I'm simply breathing. But when you sit me down and break down what's required for my body to just do this, that's hard.
Yeah, that's the complex.
The anatomy, that's complex. How the process is complex, but the action is simple.
And we take it so for granted that all the things is working, doing their job, doing the work, so that you can breathe and still exist and be here. Like, your anatomy is exquisite.
That's right,
to say the least.
Loving God is simple. Dealing with life is hard, because now you blame God for everybody else. When we all know we got the freedom to choose, and you just unfortunately chose somebody who wasn't choosing them.
That part. Take
Right.
your own accountability. Do
right?
not blame life mishaps and things that go wrong on God.
Yes.
God is a loving God.
Say
it's
that this
for you to
person,
see and get out of the situation and how it happened.
Yes.
Come on. What you say, Melissa? My life is simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Better than anything.
Come on now. Y'all know you're going to be playing Tina, pulling out the 45s and everything.
Oh my God. It's like, man, when you think about, you know, and that's why we celebrate that part, right? Because we don't get to be here. We don't know our expiration date. We just know that if we woke up today, we got to make today count because we may not wake up tomorrow. And so when you think about it, we were just talking about their mama with Tupac, who we lost at the tender age of 25. And now we celebrate a queen, a legend, right? Who showed us out loud what it is to get up again, right? She allowed us to get a glimpse into her story. You know how much shame we have on the choices that we make, how we get stuck, how we got to fight our way out, and we don't want to tell the story, but that's what makes her simply the best, is that we got to see the power in her process. We got to see the process into the promise. We got to celebrate her will to be simply the best.
Going through, pushing through, and making it through, and making a decision to get out.
Still singing.
And still be a badass because that's who she was.
That part.
She was fierce, honey. That's why I think I was a little inspired today. I was like, honey.
That outfit is giving. That outfit is giving Tina. Tina inspired.
I was like, oh no,
Tina had them legs though, honey. To this day, I say, honey, I would be happy if I go to the gym and leave with Tina Turner legs.
That was the.
I got the size now. If I could put the muscle in, and I could be rolling on the river.
That part.
I always say my best friend got these legs. I always say, you got these. I've been riding horses legs. You just woke up like that. Oh, how I wish.
Yes.
That I have muscles in my legs.
I'm with you.
But listen, we get what we get.
Now.
We get what we get.
Said, I'm cleaning house for someone today, and I'm gonna have Tina on all day for my background music. Girl, you gonna be in there rolling. In Nutbush City.
Listen, I really wanted her diaphragm.
Nutbush. And they were saying on the news, they were saying how she said she hated her voice because it wasn't like the other ladies, like Diana Ross and the sweet old mellow. She said she hated her voice, but it made her different, and she learned to embrace her voice and just do what it do. And it's like Anita Baker has like a raspy, soulful, and you don't want to be like everybody. You want to stand out. So it made her stand out, which we gotta learn. It's not about being like everybody else. It's just another, but even if you is like, something got to stand out about you.
Yes, it does.
At some point, how are you going to compete being like everybody else? Something is different about you that makes you amazing. So you got to take all of them things about you and love them.
You got to embrace it. Oh my God.
Embrace it.
You have to embrace. That's why the pledge is, I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow, right? Because until you can be present by leaving the past, you will never make it into your future because God doesn't skip steps. So again, I say you're never waiting on God. He's waiting on you because he doesn't skip steps. He orders steps. Order my steps, Lord. So we got to be able to embrace who he called us to be because somebody is standing behind you. Somebody needs you to lead them, right? And so we always see the footprints in the sand.
In you.
That part.
hard.
We always see the footprints in the sand and we like, it was you then that walked with me. And God said, no, I will never come down. I even sent my son because I don't come down from my throne. But what I will do is give everybody a piece of me so that they can show up on my behalf. And I think that's what life is about, is recognizing that we are showing up on God's behalf. We have a piece. We have something. Somebody is waiting. Somebody needs it. Somebody has to be set free. And no matter what the story is, until you tell your story, God will never get the glory, because at the end of the day, his story resides in you. You are a living vessel.
Yes, you are.
You know?
And you make God proud when you be authentically you.
Yes.
Show up in that light he put in you. Show up in that greatness he put in you. You are, like our face said, uniquely and wonderfully made. Understand that. Let that soak in.
Yes.
Get that in your psyche, because that has to resonate and shine through every day. He allows you to wake up again every morning, to renew your mind daily.
And that's why Mama Face, and the big wheel keeps on turning. Now, what does that mean, right? When we think about the process, right? Because your life is going to become the testimony, right? And so that energy, that fire that came from inside of her, right? That came from the soul of Tina. And so when she said the big world keeps on turning, I mean, momentum. Life is going to keep on going.
Let's go. Keep
but
the
we're
momentum.
rolling. So, you know,
rolling through life.
We're rolling through life. And so the question is, how
rolling
you rolling
through that
out
tide
there?
Of water, rolling in the river, through the river, on the river.
It's a wheel, baby.
We rolling on the river, on the river. Yeah.
And I love that we deal with the wheel, because the wheel could be a steering wheel, or it could be the tire, right? Because both of those are wheels,
round and round,
right? And so I'm either trying to guide myself in the right position, or I'm trying to roll, because now I know where I'm going. So now it's momentum. So you just got to know what wheel power you working out of.
Come on now.
Right? So yeah, the big wheel keep on turning. I mean, life just keep on going.
Well, I'm gonna listen talk about. I'm gonna be rolling with my vacuum.
Doodle.
Me too, Melissa. I got my dad coming tomorrow, and I'm like, girl, I ain't do nothing in this house yet. I ain't cleaning no baseboards though. I'm not doing that this time. Listen here.
She grew up in her 40s.
I'm not doing that.
Kids be running around here like Celie on The Color Purple.
And then my husband be like, Jofi Jaffa. King Jofi Jaffa. Oh, you starting the white walls and stuff. I'm not
We're
doing
gonna get
all
breakfast
that.
every day. It's about to be a better breakfast.
I'm gonna be rolling with the vacuum cleaner though. I'll do that. I'm gonna have my Tina on today and tomorrow morning after the show, y'all. I'm gonna get my cleaner on, because I gotta pick them up at the airport at 5. But
yes, I think that's so important.
Simply the best.
Simply
making life simply the best, without all that complication, and just relax
and allowing God to carry you through. As
yes,
on
faith, right? Allow God to carry you through. He got you.
By keeping it simple, shorty.
I'm talking about my dad. He's showing me outfits, child. My dad is something. You don't know what to wear. He was showing me outfits this last night.
You know, there's one thing that Nancy does, and it's take pictures, okay? So you better be right. Because, honey, you about to get captured. So if you don't want to be captured,
I'm like, Lord.
You better watch yourself, because she's gonna capture the moment,
number
okay?
2, I'll see it in a minute.
They are about the photocism, okay?
You already know. Honey, don't put me on the gram, okay?
Don't put me
on the Facebook.
But yeah, so yeah, it just was like,
man,
wow, I think it just makes us sit and think for a second what it means to really make today count.
It really does. And then to me too, you know how you think about, and we sit here, we celebrate the life, of those who have gone on,
Mhm.
and it's a celebration of life. So we're not mourning the death of them not being here no more, but we're celebrating the life that they lived while they were here. And so you think about the life and the legacy they left behind, the impact they left behind, because we're talking about it. So they was impressionable upon us, right? It's a lot of people that passed away and we have no talk about it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the question always it brings to my spirit is, okay, Nakia, what are you leaving behind? What is the impact you leave behind? What is the legacy? Like, what is somebody gonna be like, do y'all remember It's not no things like we say, it's no immaterial. Who could give a damn about that?
Yeah.
It's what is impression you leaving behind? What is the impact? Like, what stories will people tell when your physical body is no longer here and they're coming to view it? Because that's just how I see it.
Yeah.
But what would they say when they celebrate your life? What do you and I think when people think about that, people like, I don't care what nobody say about me. Why not? Like, you really don't care what people, not that I'm trying to impress nobody, I'm doing it for other people. Internally, you don't want to just impact and leave a good legacy and a good, thing with people. Like, we are all here for each other. So how are we helping each other? How are we impacting each other? And so that's the stuff I think about. Like, are you simply the best, like, of what you want for your life? You know what I mean? We talking about Tupac. We talking about how he was only 25. Here we is in our 40s. And it's like, that's what it always is like, oh, this, and she came, I was in an abusive relationship. It's like, she came out of this abuse, and that alone is so triumphant and so
inspiring.
Courageous.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted to know from the perspective, because I
was crying this morning in the bed before I woke up, because I know the abuse she went through, and to go through that and come out, and it's like, then you going and you like so fearless, and it was like you wasn't fearless in abuse, but you have that in you, and it's just shut up in your bones. And it's like, it's a mind thing. How somebody could really take your mind is truly amazing.
It is.
And that happens in love too, when people be like, oh, I love, and they really will die and kill over people. Like, nobody else gonna have you. And I mean, it's like the woman's so jealous, and it's like, she ain't gonna have you either, and I'm gonna kill her, because it's just all I'm saying is it's mental. When people mentally get in your mind, stuff happens that you probably felt like it ain't you, but you mentally controlled with something, right? So it overtakes you. But the life and legacy of the triumphant of what she's gone through, and then went on to still be a star in her own right, and took her power back. Just taking her power back was so courageous, and still be a badass. Yeah. I'm like,
to this day,
girl, and was feisty fierce. That's what everybody, if you knew Tina, they was like, she did not play. She was real, transparent, authentic. Like, it is what it is. She ain't hold no punches, right? Because she ain't, like, now I can really say how I ain't got nobody controlling me. Like, that's how Janet Jackson, I'm in control. My dad ain't telling me nothing. I ain't listening to you. I'm in control of my life. I am getting up from under you, because you ain't listening to me. You're not listening to the ideas I have for my own music and my own life. You ain't in here singing these songs. You're controlling me like a puppet. So when she got out from, under control of her dad, it was like, control, never gonna stop. You seen the freaky Janet now.
It can become a, so like you said, that internal battle to fight for self, right? Because that's like losing your mind. Is just because, you give pieces of it away every time you allow somebody to infiltrate or plant a seed in which you then nurture over time, right? And so it's like, it's not what you did, is what I allow. That's ownership. That's what we do in the refill station, right?
Absolutely.
I don't care about what they did to you.
Absolutely.
If we are talking, like I said, childhood trauma is a whole nother session, right? That is that before I had control of my life. But I often tell adults, if I'm doing a session with them or I'm in a group, that if you're blaming your whole life on childhood, and most of us who was ready to grow up and get to that level, you said to yourself, soon as I turn 18, I'm going to control my life and I'm going to do all the things that my parents never understood or whoever guardianship was over me didn't allow, or life. And I was all the things I wanted because I expected that when I asked for stuff, I should have got it, that money grew on trees. Once I became an adult, by the time you get 18 years past, so what's 18 plus 18? That's 36. Every 36-year-old should ask themselves. Now, this means that I have been with myself the same time I have been with you. And before, the complaint was, you control me. But when I get my guardianship papers, right? Because at 18, you no longer got to sign for me, right? I no longer got to co-sign. I no longer have to give you permission. Remember, we said permission is permission is what I allow you to do. I grant you this opportunity, right? I no longer need permission in life. And now I'm 36 and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I had 18 years to myself to do all the things that I assumed was easy to do because life looks easy. Remember, the simple thing look easy until you go through the paperwork and you find out, wow, that wedding was beautiful. But oh my God, they was for 6 months, they was going here, they was doing it. The process was not. The image was. It gave that false identity, reality of what it costs to show up. And so I think that if we spent more time in those 18 to 36 years, really implementing the things that we thought should have been implemented, and if they were right, then your life should be the way you thought it should have been when you were being raised. And so your kid's life should be different than your life. Because now you got all the opportunities to do all the things that you said that they should have done for you. So the question is, and we are still stuck in our 30s, because I'm going to give you your 20s because you're just smelling, you're just figuring that out. But by your 30s, whose fault is it now? What did you allow? And so I think a lot of times we spend too much time blaming other people when we control every decision that is made. And it ain't nobody's fault that you couldn't say no. That's your fault.
You decided not to say that was the decision you made when you made that choice.
Just like it's nobody's fault that you left when you should have stayed. Because you allowed what they said to dictate how you feel. Either way, I always say, anytime I follow my instinct, I never had a problem. You're only mad at yourself because you're saying, I should have listened to myself. That's why that's that intuition. You have to invest. You see, tuition is in there. That means there's an investment on the inside in order for you to get a return. There is a cost. So when you know how I broke that on my site, when you paying for classes, I want you to know it's intuition. There's a tuition. And when you look at tuition, there's a payment that must be paid. So intuition is the inside cost to be the boss.
Molly, you in danger, girl. But listen to your inner self. Intuition is the inside cost. It's going to cost you later, girl. So if you don't listen to this intuition.
Right? Because tuition is a cost. In is inside. So intuition must be there's going to be a cost internally for this decision externally. So am I willing to pay? Come on now. To go to this university. In the school of life.
The school of hard knocks. It's a hard knock. Right?
And so I think it's real important that we start taking ownership of where we are today by letting go of the things that we cannot change in order to be the change we always wanted. So you know what I mean? So we got to stop trying to fix what was broken and just be the token. Be the path. Be the ticket.
Come on.
Become
now.
the person. And so when we think about Tina, it was like that was being a ticket. Right? That was, it cost. You saw the price.
That part.
You can see the price clearly, what it cost for you to be like, wow, you was a queen, you was a legend. There were so many people that would look at her for different reasons. There were other singers in the world that would be like, oh my God, you was a star, you shine. There are the people who dealt with abuse that would be like, oh my God, you got out, you did this. You know what I mean? You inspired me to right.
I can endure. Ooh, the stories people will tell.
And it was okay.
And you can only
that you
imagine what she didn't show us and what we don't know of the abuse. I mean, the stuff we did see. So, I mean, triumphant.
Good morning, Arthur L.
Good morning, lady. Miss Jewel.
Good morning, queen. Enough is enough. God made me, not you, him, her. God. That part. And that's when we stop caring about what they say and start hearing what God says, and then be.
Everybody being them. Be you. Do you. Focus on you. You are responsible for you. Come on, Arthur L. She said, when I got grown, I did do what I wanted to do, but I was still going to be respectful and mindful of the lessons that were taught to me by my mom and my grandmother. And plus, I didn't want to get a beating.
That part.
That
part. And I think that's what's so important is like, okay, I get it now, right? And that's what they say, well, you'll learn to live or you'll live to learn. You'll learn to live or you'll live to learn. And I think it's real important that we really, take instructions from people around us, right? That's what God says. That's what God said, when you can expose yourself, oh my God, is when you have become that full picture, right? Your mess has the age, right? It was after she was out that we got the story so that you can respect the intuition.
Because when you're in it, you're trying to hide it. So it's only once it age that you telling it for other people to be like, whoa. So they get something out of it. I'm not telling you just to be telling you. Take heed to what I'm saying so that if you're in a situation or if you're, look for them signs and make a decision before it get to this point. You know what I mean? So people are telling you their story so you get something out of it specifically for you and your life.
And I'm gonna tell you, the hardest thing to do is one of the slogans that I had to live through is remove the shame and get in your lane. And I would add my other slogan that because the who may kill you, but the what will heal you, right? And the who I always say is what heaven ordered, whether it's you or them. It's the who. Now our choices dictate the impression we leave, the soul print we leave on somebody, right? That fossil of you, right? But what I'm saying is that if the who may kill you and the what will heal you, the what is that wisdom hat, is what you got to learn because there was a problem and you are the solution. And so that's why I said how Tina impacted you, because that's a part of your testimony, dealing with abuse. And for me, that's why Color Purple was so important, because it was a story of abuse and molestation. So I'm sure it triggered a lot of people. And then when I watched The Color Purple, it was before I was into Oprah, but Oprah was in The Color Purple. So you see how she showed up again? Because God will always give you an image of where or what it is that you desire, who you are, right? And so when I saw that, she already was relatable because as a child, I grew up and she was Sophia. And then when I began to watch her show, not knowing her, because you are inspiration, you don't got to know everybody that know you. Right. You just got to be so that they can become, right? And so in that, she would tell the story of her being molested. And I've never seen people in the limelight in great positions. I've never heard them speak of that pain or that shame. And so that was another piece, right? And so it's like inspiration, admiration comes from people who are courageous enough to stand up in their story. Because then that gave me the confidence, because I was already doing poetry and already sharing stuff, to be like, oh, wow, there's nothing wrong with me, right? Because that's the shame. It's like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I in the, why did, people
Why
won't
was it
understand.
me?
People are going to judge and people are going to think I'm weird or, so you are telling yourself all of these stories.
Yeah.
Until you see somebody with the courage to tell their story. And then you're like, wow. And look what God did with that person. And so I started to look at stories of the people who I was admiring. Mm-hmm. And every time I went back through the history, it was like, oh my God, God is not picking on me. My other saying, God is picking me up. Right? Like you are called for such a time like this. And it is not on God. It is the choices that people are making in your presence that you cannot allow to, what happened?
I just broke my necklace.
Oh man. That you cannot allow to stop you, you know what I mean, from moving. But I'm telling you, our shame stifles us. Our shame keeps us stuck in time, right? And that's why I say it's for us to go from survivor to soulvivor, because soulvivor is a mindset. It is the saying to renew your mind daily. That means if I am physically here, then if I can mentally get here too, then God says that means that's the two that need to touch and agree in his soul. Because if your mind could just collaborate with your body, there is nowhere that you can go because you tell your body what to do. And if you're not telling it the proper things, then you won't do the right things, because everything is a action after you've been told. And so it's like how you speak to yourself, how you believe in yourself. So if you tell yourself, like Tina said that day to herself, that's it. I'm fighting back today, and this is the last day. That's what she told herself. And her action follows. So your body's betrays, but it ain't the bodies that betrays your mind. Because when you can renew your mind, the body will follow, right? That is what it is. So you can't tell me I didn't want to go there. No, we need to fix what's in your head, because you went there and the body is following your mind. So don't tell me that you're being mindful if you walked over there. If you chose that because something in the mind is controlling your body, that part.
Your mouth to open and say whatever it's saying. It all starts in the mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Vision, that part. And as I say, that vision is that the thoughts behind your eyes, right? It is a picture that you must bring into focus, right? That is what vision is. And God is like, each of us get vision, but we are clouded by the process that makes us not believe in the dream, because a vision is like a dream behind your eyes. And so it's like I have to manifest this, because now I can see it when I close my eyes. I can dream it, I can wish it, I can almost taste it, I can almost feel it. But then I have to wake up, right? And so it's like, go to sleep long enough to dream it, but wake up and be it, right? It's the being, it's the ing that must be activated. That's why they say faith without works is dead. Because I don't care what you believe, if you don't receive it in a way to make you walk and talk and move as if that is the truth, then you'll never actually manifest that thing. And so it's like you got to have that vision in order to accomplish the goal, because the vision is what gives you direction for what the body must do. And so if you don't believe in the vision, the body won't serve you. Right? If I don't believe this, my body won't serve you. My body is really working on me. So I say, if you change your mind, the heart will follow, right? Because I love you because my mind tells me. And when my mind tells me I don't love you no more, the heart is over you, right? And so it's like, I can't, it's the fears of the heart. That's why she said, what love got to do with it?
Fears of the heart.
God said to renew your mind daily. You're doing that because what love is the heart. I am soul tied to you. I love you. I will love you forever, right? Because love grows everything. But if I don't change my mind, loving you may destroy me. So it's not that I love you more than me, because God said love your neighbors as you first love yourself. So I am always the starting point on the way I love. And so if I'm giving more to you than I'm giving to me, then it is a false set of love, because you get my overflow. You don't get my being. The being is how I survive. The overflow is how you
Yeah,
thrive.
but and then your soul ain't satisfied. Your soul is crying.
Mm-hmm.
Internally, you're crying because your soul is not being loved. Your soul is not satisfied. So it's crying out for you to fight whatever else it is to really get back to you.
Yeah. That's the part.
Like you said, a soul tie, you are your soul. So it's like, y'all gotta be one. The mind and the soul gotta get to one. And
but that's another
like,
thing. That's the thing. For me, when I say soul, I mean mind. For me, your soul is your mind. To me, right? Yeah. Because your soul is your thought pattern. It is the thing, because you imagine that when
against what your mind is really, you know what I mean, telling you, that's where the confliction come in.
Right. So when you're talking about your soul, because when my spirit is in a good place, right? That means the spirit of me is on a good flow. Then I am being mindful of what I say to myself. That's why your soul's posture is important, because when your spirit is low, you find when you're on a low vibration, I mean, my spirit is down, you're going to talk to yourself in a negative way.
Right.
But when your spirit is being fed and is feeling peace and is feeling joy, then you're going to move mountains in your head. Right. You are singing those songs like, no weapons formed shall prosper. You're saying this is the last day because I feel spiritually strong enough to survive this ordeal, right? Because I'm going to change my mind right here. God said, all you need is today. And so when I change my mind, then I change my soul, because my soul is my mind. And now when I'm thinking, because if you think about it, it's like, okay, because when I leave, when I'm gone, when it's all over, what's going to happen? You think that these words that's in my head, if the body's going to stay here, I'm going to still have these thoughts. Like these thoughts has got to be bigger than me. I could be laying there and I could think. So I know that those are powerful. Just like I love when Queen Marsha Russian speaks, Pastor Marsha Russian speaks about her process, right? And she speaks about her telling herself when the doctor said that there was no way that she would walk again, and the doctor said that there was no way that she would bear another child after that accident, after she had to lose a child, when everything told her, she had to tell herself, you will walk.
I got mind control.
You see, and that's a soul that will not die. That's what I mean. So you can retrain. That's why God said renew your mind daily. I don't care what they say. Do you know what I said? Can you speak life over you? Because you're praying over them. You're telling them that they can be great. That's why I say become your own best friend. How can I tell you? How can I believe in you and tell you I know what life looks like? But you can have anything you want. It's like parents telling their kids, dream.
And be the
impossible dream. And yet you won't even dream a little dream. It's unbelievable. So you have to be the example, because people are inspired by action. They are not inspired by talk. Because talk is cheap, like they say. Right? Talk is cheap. Because intuition is an action. I had to get into position. I had to be. And so I think that is so true. Like,
you telling me it's possible. I can't tell. Show me.
So you see what Tina got? Tina got us understanding what it means to be simply the best.
Simply the best.
What it means to even be thriving while inside you're just surviving. Come on now. Because on the outside, she was thriving. After you get the story, from where we were looking, it was thriving. But on the inside, she was surviving. She was trying to make it day by day.
So surviving.
That part. Stuck in.
Because she was a rider.
Her life.
She was a rider and a soul survivor.
I'm trying to tell you. You gotta be you just gotta be intentional on
with your life
and keeping it simple so the steps don't seem hard. If you put too much in front of you, it does seem unbelievable.
Pieces to get
step by step, place by place.
That part, piece by piece.
Piece by piece will give you peace, right? picking up the broken pieces is peace, right? So that's what life is about, is turning your pieces into peace. Because now I can accept what I cannot change, but now I have information that will make me better, whether I'm a better teacher, whether I'm a better mama, whether I'm a better wife, whether I'm a better friend, whether I'm a better sister, whether I'm a better family, whatever that is, you get to be better when you actually do, I say, embrace the simple things. Embrace the simple things. Appreciate the life that God gave you.
Be appreciative of
gratitude,
the small stuff to get to the big stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't in gratitude with the stuff, that the simple stuff you have, and your vision is grandiose, you got to start with the simple stuff.
That part. And like I said, the things that look simple can be hard.
You could, that part.
You know, because promise looks promising, but process is
a hurdle, honey. Get over those hurdles.
Yeah. I think that
Switzerland. She lived in Switzerland.
Switzerland. She hasn't lived. She's been living in Switzerland for over decades, right? A couple of decades at this point.
Yeah.
She got out of America, honey. That's another story for another day.
He done gave him her kidney.
Oh wow!
Just the story. I was up watching the news this morning.
And what details? Well, I mean, what part of the story?
No, they had Gail and Oprah on one of the news stations, and they were on vacation in Italy. And they was doing an interview with the news people, and she was saying, you know how Oprah was saying how, you know, she became her friend. She was a groupie at first, you know, because they surprised her on one of Oprah's shows.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
All of that. They were showing clips of different things, and Oprah was saying how they became close friends. So it wasn't that she was just a groupie of hers. She actually.
Well, we started out right.
You know, and you know they was just talking about her life and stuff.
And imagine,
Oprah was saying back in 2019, she thought that was going to be Tina's last moment here on Earth, but she pulled through and she actually made it through to now, because she was going through a lot of illnesses that nobody probably knows about. But you know, she was having episodes after episode. She had back surgery. The husband had to give her a kidney, and she was praising how the husband is just loves her and was like he just always there for her, by her side. You know, he just, you know.
And do you see what sacrifice earns you, right? Because there's always the other side of it, right? And so when you get enough and you had enough and you find yourself worthy enough to walk away, then you are a magnet and you bring in the thing that you deserve. But we got to understand that until we work on our worthiness, we will always usher in the thing that does not serve us, because it complements the doubts that we are saying to ourselves. So we receive it, right? And if somebody is complimenting you too much, you're like, oh, they want something. You can't even receive a compliment, because sometimes we are that broken. So even when you think about the health issues, it just reminds of those, no more cysts, no more suffering in silence, because discourse becomes disease, and all of these things happen inside of us internally while we look like we're thriving, right? And then we have to pretend to be enough, even though we don't feel enough. And it's like, but your life will show you how you really feel, because you are but the acting out of your mind, right? And so it's like, if I want to know how you really feel, I can look at your life, because we move out of emotions. And so sometimes we got to just sit down and take inventory of the different areas in our life, and you can say, this is a problem here. I can see that this area right here is not thriving. That means something is broken here. Something needs to be addressed. And I think that even when you think about all of the illnesses and the fact that she was loved to that capacity, right? Something that she deserved, which is probably why she got to live to be 83, because God will give you 10 times.
And look at that, 83.
You know, what you put in. So it's like she got 8 decades, and 8 is a new beginning. And she got the 3, which is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? And so it's like you get to get it back when you trust the process, right? And when you are able to get up and choose you, life happens. And in that moment, I think she realized that it was all about a choice. And the choices we make today decides how simple our life will be tomorrow. So it's hard because we made the hard choices, or we didn't make the right choices at the time. And while we can't go back, we can address that was not a good decision. Honor that, right? That accountability, and then say, well, now moving forward, I'm going to rewrite that part of my story because I can do that. God gave me dominion and power over me. And so now I can say I used to be that person. And I can say I don't blame those people because of who I was. I welcomed them in, right? It was a vibration. I brought them to me because it was a unsaid thing, right? And so that's what life is all about. It is about standing in your truth, loving yourself, and realizing, my God, what did it take? What did it cost me?
What did I endure through?
What did
it cost me?
And why? Why? You know, your why is that one part. Is you telling that story. Is you giving God the glory. Is you saying, somebody comes behind me.
Come on now.
I am giving you a baton. I am going to say that I suffered so that you might live. And so when God said greater works we would do, that's the suffering. Because he had to suffer and he had to show up anyway. And I think every day we can find situations and stories where we suffered, but we showed up anyway. And that's the greater works that he gave us. That's the strength that he gave us. But the difference is the mind. If the mind doesn't survive with the body, it is a lost cause. Because the greatest thing you have is your mind. It is the thing that creates everything. And so if I can change my mind, if I can renew my mind, if I can stop allowing the pain as if it wasn't a part of the process, as if we don't have to go through, as if it's not the price of that mission, if I can accept the mission that must be added to my soul, if I can accept those things, then I can get into anywhere. Because the price has already paid. Honey. Come on now.
You got to action for her track.
Yes, that's what Mom was saying. She had major health issues.
Absolutely.
Oh, hey, Jerry. Hey. I can see she is on Timmy's page. Hey, love. Hey, my beautiful cousins. Hope all is well. Love y'all morning show. Very inspirational. Thank you, boo. I'm glad you tuned in. Good morning to you. The birds are chirping. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mama Faye says, and love grows everything. She had true love through her latter years, right? And isn't that where, and that's where it matters.
The person who will love her the way she deserved to be loved
and cherish her.
Absolutely.
For the queen that she is, was, and will always be, right?
Part.
Because that's what life is all about. It's about realizing that we are all a part of God's kingdom and that we are all his children. And so we all have a seat at the throne, but it's very expensive to be a part of a kingdom. And I don't know if we look at the stories. Yes. If we look at the stories of how much, I mean, watching Bridgerton gives you an insight of what you call, when you call yourself a queen, are you really willing to do the work, right? She had to sacrifice and love somebody who was not there half the time. Now talk about having a bigger name and a bigger assignment attached to your process, right? And so we want things to be pleasurable all the time, but that ain't what a kingdom is all about. It's about the hard work. It's about the tears. It's about the isolation. It's about the loneliness. It's about the misunderstood. It's about the not even being able to be alone sometimes because of what is required of you, because of who's attached to your namesake. That's what building kingdoms is about. It's about going anyway. It's about understanding the goal and the purpose in order to fulfill destiny. That's what kingdom building is all about. And so if you're going to say I'm a queen or I'm a king, I'm saying, are you willing to go through the sacrifice it takes to run an ear, right?
Yeah.
To run a throne, to be into position, to come out when you want to stay in, right? To inspire when you need to be inspired, right? To love when you want to run away, to raise when you don't even got it in you. Can you be a queen or a king? That's what it means. It means that my name, who I'm attached to, is more important than everything else.
The assignment I have.
Because I was born. I choose me. # no more excuses, because you were born enough. Remember what you call yourself.
Child. You was already born enough.
Mm-hmm.
Child.
And so
from the moment you was born, you was enough.
Enough. Now that's the one thing that we could say, like Beyonce, I woke up like that. I woke up like that. You woke up born enough. For today.
I woke up like
Let's be clear. I think the insecurity is in tomorrow, and tomorrow is not promised. So the fact that you're insecure about it is an audacity in his own self. So these are things that we must check, because we say it, but do we really hear ourselves? If tomorrow is not promised and I must serve ye today, then how am I not feeling enough when
I was born enough?
Today is enough. What I want sounds like tomorrow. It don't sound like now.
Yeah.
Right?
Why we worried about tomorrow? Tomorrow ain't even here yet.
You see?
Ain't even here yet. Our faith said God put it all in you when he, he said in love grows, she said love grows everything. So she had true love. Oh, do the later. Okay.
We did.
God put it all in you when he formed you in the womb.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He put it all in
enough.
Good morning, Joe Mark. Good
Mr.
morning.
Oak Tree.
The birds are chirping. Ooh, so glad to see you, and so glad that you said good morning. It matters.
Yes. Don't forget, you're supposed to have FaceTime me in an hour last night. I said, I know he's going to do it when I'm in the bed sleep, but you ain't. So we'll talk today.
God put you all, and that's why I say he knew you. Before you were formed, he knew you. He sent you for such a time like this. And because we don't know the time, we gotta value the day.
Make today count.
Because we don't know the time, we must value the day.
I'm telling you,
the day is all you have.
You gotta keep your mind inspired. You gotta pour inspiration and motivation inside you so that you could become. Yeah. That's why I said, I was doing my coffee mugs, and I was like, you wake up in the morning, you need to tell yourself some good stuff. Thank God for waking you up, renewing your mind daily, making today count. So the mugs for me was like, I ain't putting no pictures. I don't want the little pictures. I need when you be sipping in the morning, you need some affirmation in your life. You need some coffee in one hand and confidence in the other hand. So when you ready to go through out the door and through life and dealing with other people, you got to have something in you. So that how you feel, how you think, you got to put all of that in you. Every time you look around, you got to be inspired with something. Child, I'm telling you, intentional. Be intentional.
All day, every day.
You got to let people know you are enough. You got this. Everybody's filled with doubt at some point in the day. And you gotta be like, I got this. You gotta tell yourself, because if you don't look for it for other people, if other people give it to you, that's absolutely great. But it starts with you. You got to have that for yourself. You wake up, it's like, I don't know, for some reason, lately I've been feeling like me, like badass, like, like I've been thinking of something to put on. It's like, I'm putting that on. This is how I feel. This is when I ain't going nowhere, but I don't care. This is how I feel. Like, it's like a feeling. It's like that part right there. It's just the soul posture. Honey, what we got this morning?
I was
thinking of a word. Yes, but The life and legacy of Miss Tina Turner. I mean, I'm sure we'll be talking about that for days to come. She was definitely a bright light. A bright light 16. With so much impact on people that I'm sure we would be talking about that for years to come. Yes, 83 years old. So the question is, what impact and legacy will we leave behind?
Mm-hmm. Moving forward.
And
how would you live your life simply the best? If you can write on a paper today, living my life simply the best looks like, what does it look like? And I need you to create an idea for yourself to activate, right? Because we have to get in action for our attractions. So today, say, living life simply the best looks like ... What does that look like for you? God is about clarity and defining. And when you define something, it allows you to see it when it appears. It's like when I bought the car, right? Anytime you buy a car, you ever notice that you see the cars all over the place? Now, clearly, they have been there all the time, but because like now that you can see them and it's clear to you and you have clarity, now it's different. Now you're exposed to something. So identify what a simple life looks like for you. If your life can be simply the best, it will look like what? And be specific and be intentional. And then read that every day so that you can manifest the simply best life that you deserve, because you know that as long as you are of age, even below age, you can still start creating a mindset. That's what kept me sane, right? Having definitely God was my thriving force in dealing as a child growing up with the shames and the abuse and the things that I was suffering in silence with. It was my relationship with God that kept me sane. And then luckily, being exposed to church with my mom at St. Paul's and Dr. Johnny Ray Youngblood and all of these different things definitely impacted me feeling worthy, right? Hearing God's message. And for me, when they would read the stories in the Bible, I stopped taking it personal because, everybody was going through some stuff. And so because my mind thought like my mind thought, I said, okay, I'm not taking it personal. That's where that phrase comes. I don't take it personal. I take it process, right? It's not you. It is the what, right? And so it's letting go, right? And it's not saying you okay or not giving you permission or not saying that what you did was right. It's saying that I cannot carry your stuff anymore. And in my poem where I wrote Reclaim My Spirit, I stressed that I realized that I was carrying the other person's shame and claiming it for myself. And that's what happens when you hide behind your story, right? You grab their stuff and you make it your own, and now you're carrying that around. And so I think that's what was so beautiful about Tina Turner's story was the thing that most people will know, even if they don't know the music. You heard the story, it was Ike and Tina, and it was something that is very huge, right? We lose a woman to domestic violence. I think they say 1 in every 3 women are abused, or a woman is abused every such and such seconds, right? And it's a real reality because I have done too many events in which I had to speak, and in some of them they would speak the names of the people that were lost through domestic violence, right? And so I think outside of everything, it just shows that even at your highest point, we suffer in silence every day. And so before we pick our card, I definitely want to close with a poem I have wrote for domestic violence survivors. And it's called A Taught Love. It says, why do you hit me? Better yet, why do I stay? Have I convinced myself it will be different another day? Why do you verbally attack me? Better yet, why do I cry? Maybe because I know it will cause my spirit to surely die. Why do you throw your trash on me? Better yet, why am I content with being your garbage disposal? Maybe because I'm selling myself so short and die in need of a marriage proposal. Why do I allow you to give me deeper insecurities? Better yet, why don't I love who I am? How come it seems I'm selling my soul to the devil just to keep a man? Why am I waiting for you to love me? Better yet, why don't I love myself? I bottled up the enemy, the true enemy, and hidden it away on a shelf. Why am I asking questions? It's because I've allowed you to hold all the keys. I've given you all the rights to my own destiny. Because until I can love me for me, how can I expect you to see? See the person that I truly am without getting caught up in your life's pains, treating me as if in your cloudy days I supplied your rain. I just pray that you would see me as your son and treat my temple just the same, and treat me as the queen I am in our precious Jesus' name. But what I learned is that I don't have to wait for you to get the validation that I need, because what I had to realize is that God is the gardener to my seed. So I'm not waiting for you to love me, but if you want, you can jump aboard. Now that I know that I have all the love I need from myself and yes, the Lord. So I will no longer accept just any old kind of love, because that of which I deserve is the releasing of two white doves. I only pray that you would get it right and the love that we share could be preserved throughout our nights. But if you can't be the man that I need, better yet, the quench of my thirst, I'm sorry to say that this is the end, because I have learned to put myself first. And I dedicate that to anybody who has suffered, especially to Queen Kia over here, because she was definitely my inspiration. I love that. I say, as God whispers, I write it down. 90% of the things that I have written about, I have not endured, but being in relationships with people and it falls on me like the dew in the morning is almost like, I can only imagine. And so my empathy runs so deep, and I just only pray that people would love themselves through, that they would find themselves worthy enough to be the last scene where you get out, but get out in a careful way. Of course, I'm not saying just run out. I know that most percentage of the women that lose their lives are on the way out, right? And so
just had enough and was like fighting back.
Yes, definitely do the proper steps, but I think it definitely starts in the head, in the mind, in your worthiness, and really addressing the thing that was broken in the first place. So even if you leave, that you can still have yourself, right? And so it's like, you want to be in a good enough condition to go on after you've gone. So that's a mindset, right? And when I change my mind, I change my results. So I just say, shout out to Queen Tina Turner for shining and being and serving on the highest level, and it's been a privilege to be impacted to you, though we never met her. It just shows the importance.
Get a glimpse inside your life and just see impact. You just shine and just thrive and become who you became. It's like,
to God be the glory, right? And so this has been an awesome hour. I really hope that you begin to live your life as it's simply the best. I hope that you write down the things that you want, desire, deserve, and find yourself worthy after you write the list, right? Think of all the things that it cost you, that intuition, what you already paid on the inside to be where you are today. And so it's time to go from suffering in silence, no more sis, into secret healing, because it's time for us to put ourselves in the places and the spaces that serves our soul, so that we can change the way we think and change the way we show up. Because if your life is not the way you want it to be, the way you thought your parents should have did it, well, guess what? You got it now. What you gonna do with the life that God gave you?
What are you doing with your life at this point?
Be the thing you thought, because you can have it. We're gonna pick this card and we're gonna let you guys get out of here.
You ready?
I am.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. You got the gifted again. I'm gifted.
I am gifted.
And I am the answer.
Shall.
Come on now, God. If
I
that's
consider
not
myself
a
gifted.
ceiling
Mm.
to what he says, it's
Come on now.
I am the answer. You are the answer. You are gifted. He said, your gift shall make room for you. That's what makes you the answer. And so if we can just apply our gifts, solve the problem, right? Solve for X. You are the X factor. When I solve for X, I find the answer within the problem. And so it's not what you go through, it's what you grow through that makes you the answer. You got to work it out, baby.
You are the answer.
When you are doing a problem, you got to work it out, right? It's work, right? The teacher said, work out the problem. They didn't say job the problem. They said work. And so when you be in action for your attraction, you get to solve for X, you become the answer, and somebody is waiting. You are somebody's cheat sheet. Will you be the gifted cheat sheet you were called to be?
Now.
Tina was.
You ask the question, and the answer is you're gifted.
You're gifted.
I am gifted. So you ask the question, the answer is you are gifted.
You are gifted.
Your gifts will make room for you. So you keep questioning and asking. The answer is use your gifts. You are enough. I gave it to you. The answer is yes. This was clear for me. Honey.
Yeah.
Gotta get going Monday.
Be the gifted answer, my child. And I will serve you just as you serve me.
You are enough.
I choose me. Hashtag no more excuses. What is it? I pledge to embrace who I am today, love who I was yesterday, and inspire who I will become tomorrow. That's your responsibility.
Come on now. Y'all gotta learn this stuff. Learn this pledge. Because when we get to this song, all about what you putting in yourself daily, right? Wake up, say your affirmations, do the pledge. Choose yourself with no more excuses. Anything you saying out your mouth, if it ain't how we getting towards this goal, is an excuse. I don't want to hear it.
Now. Is what do I have to do to serve you today?
That part. This was a good one.
Let God be God every day, and you be in action for your attraction, because that's the only way he's going to get the stuff into the world. He sends us. We are his soldiers. We are the warriors, right? And so are you a multi-level marketer for God? Hashtag multiple streams of spirit.
Come on.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking
soul
for spirits
survivors around here
to be resurrected, honey. You can resurrect a soul. Did you know that?
Come on.
Because a soul is a mind, and when you speak life over somebody, you resurrect a soul.
The army. We need some soul surviving armies.
Today. Now is always today. Always remember that. And now means no other warrior. Remember, now means no other warrior. So remember, it is a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. So remember, we don't compete. Oh, no. We complete. And the difference between those two words is an L, because L stands for love, and love grows everything. So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. Remember, that's the ability of measurement in which you can respond. Everybody has one. So remember that you are gifted and you are the answer. Shout out to Queen Tina Turner for showing up.
Thanks so much, Queen.
Showing up.
For your light.
Exposing yourself.
Lord, thank you for sending her.
We thank you.
And having her
you. And we
in
send
our
her
lives
back
as an example of greatness, of legacy, of love, triumph, confidence, and just thank you so much.
We love you.
We
lift you, and you heard it here. You have impacted us, and we thank you for being you. It was the ing that made a difference for us
Thanks
and for everybody
becoming
else.
who
So
you
yeah,
became.
think. So you've been tuned in to Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. I choose me. Hashtag no more excuses. Because you were born enough. We'll see you later. Love you guys. Take care of them souls.
Take care of them souls.
Love bros
See you
everything.
tomorrow.
So